shows Joe King walk out on the stage and say, "Can we maybe get a little applause when I come out here? Jesus." The dead studio audience tepidly applauds. King, "Oh, come on, you can do better than that." The dead studio audience collectively groans and forces a louder applause. King, "Okay, that's better. Anyway, my name's Joe King. I'm not joking, but I prefer to be referred to as Juris Dr. King. Okay, anyway, since I am creating content as a non-guild member during the writer's strike, I do want to shine a light on what they are going through because I think it's important that they be fairly compensated. Okay, and the following is cherry-picked from a Reuters article written by Lisa Richwine, the last thing we need, the rich whining, and Danielle Broadway, no relation to the famed Manhattan Street, I assume, okay? So these two ladies wrote in a Reuters article that roughly 11,500 members of the Writers Guild of America recently went on a strike, saying that studios created a gig economy inside a union workforce. The Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, AMPTP. Okay, what a horrible acronym, by the way. AMPTP. Sounds like a hyped-up new brand of toilet paper. Okay, they said writing movies or TV shows in Hollywood has almost nothing in common with standard gig jobs. Most TV writers, the group said, are employed on a weekly or episodic basis with a guarantee of specified number of weeks or episodes. In addition, writing comes with substantial benefits that are far superior to what many full-time employees receive for working an entire year, such as health care, pension plan contributions, and paid parental leave. Writers say they are working more and making less as studios have shifted their focus to streaming over traditional TV and cable. The AMPTP said Guild data showed the median number of weeks of employment for a writer on a streaming series is between 20 and 24, which pays a minimum of $91,000 plus future residuals of more than $28,000 for a half-hour script and more than $41,000 for a one-hour script. Writers note that they have to pay their agents and lawyers from their salaries and that they may not find a writing gig for the rest of the year after their 24 weeks of pay. Now, the ladies go on to write that the strike comes at a challenging time for media companies. Conglomerates are under pressure from Wall Street to make their streaming services profitable after pumping billions of dollars into programming to attract subscribers. The rise of streaming also has eroded television ad revenue as traditional TV audiences shrink. On Thursday, Paramount Global, the studio that released the hit TV show Yellowstone and the Mission Impossible movies, reported weak earnings from investments in streaming and softness in the ad market. The company's shares plummeted 28%. And that's all from Miss Richwine and Miss Broadway on Reuters. Okay, here, I'll say this. I understand the conglomerates are in a bind. I think ultimately streaming is going to end up bundling up together and create the new cable at some point. But while they're trying to save money, as a content company, you can't shortchange the people who actually make the content. Otherwise, you're not going to have any content to sell. Okay, and yes, they have AI, but AI is yet to be programmed to really capture satire and sarcasm the way the human brain can, okay? And especially for comedy, AI has not proven it can create anything marketable or, at the very least, in the least bit funny. Okay, I think AMPTP should give the strikers what they want and figure out how to make streaming profitable beyond shortchanging content creators. Okay, can I create some content now without any guilt? Jesus, okay, I'm not even in their guild, and I feel guilty creating content when I haven't made a dime off of it. Okay, I'm not much of a businessman. Okay, now somehow I'm the only producer who has figured out you can use dead people as your characters and therefore not pay them a dime and still make basically no money off the venture. Go figure. Okay? Now I'm going to try to fit a joke in here so I don't feel like I'm Tom Snydering my audience. Okay, and I'm just kidding. I love Tom Snyder. He's a friend of Saturday Night Live. He appeared as himself in episode 68, hosting a show called The Too Late Late Show, and was actually a member of the original cast. Okay, that's right. It took me a little while to realize that creating a show like Saturday Night Live, you don't just have every Tom Snyder, Dick, and Harry as part of the cast, okay? And then it made much more sense keeping the cast to only former SNL cast members. And thanks to drugs, I had plenty to choose from on that front. Okay, anyway, I promised a joke. Now, I've mentioned a couple times before that I was previously employed as a public defender. But before that, I also worked as a private attorney, working as an do to protect the client's anonymity, okay? But before that happened, as we were talking with the client one day, who was out of custody because he was rich, the client mentioned how crazy and surreal the whole situation was. And he started talking about who would play each of us if they made a movie about his case. Okay, for myself, I thought of myself as a decent-looking guy, okay, and since I'm bald, I started thinking that who would play me would be some mixture of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Matt Damon. Okay, I was feeling pretty confident in myself at the time. Okay, that confidence was instantly shot down as the client looked right at me and said, without hesitation, that Jason Alexander would play me. George, from Seinfeld. Okay, no offense to Mr. Alexander, but to go from Stone Cold mixed with Good Will Hunting to George from Seinfeld, it felt like a step down. Okay, though George did, of course, date Marissa Tomei, so I guess it could have been worse, but still. Plus, he's Jewish, which I admire, okay? If I'm racist at all, it's that I stereotype the Jewish race as a very successful group. When was the last time you saw a guy with the last name Horowitz begging you for change on the street, am I right?
King walks off stage and walks to another stage and sits in a chair behind a desk and says,
"And now please welcome to the program an all-time baseball great, the recently departed Vida Blue."
Vida Blue comes out from behind a curtain and waves at the audience. Applause, applause, applause. Blue sits in a chair next to King's desk.
King, welcome to the show, Mr. Blue.
Blue, thank you for having me.
King, well, I just got word you died today, so I didn't have a lot of time to prepare, but let me just say it's an honor to have a Baseball Hall of Famer on the show.
Blue, I'm not actually a Hall of Famer.
King, what? Are you kidding me? You were a 3-time champion, an MVP, which is very rare for a pitcher, Cy Young winner, ERA champion, and a 6-time All-Star, and one of only 5 pitchers to start the All-Star game for both leagues, and they didn't put you in the Hall of Fame?
Blue, that's correct.
King, okay, well, hopefully that changes very soon. That's ridiculous. Could you imagine someone with 3 rings and an MVP not being in the basketball or football halls of fame? It's patently ridiculous you're not in.
Blue, I thank you for saying that. Hopefully I can get in posthumously.
King, you damn well should. Anyway, so you think that the reason you're not in is because you threw a no-hitter while on LSD?
Blue, that wasn't me. That was Doc Ellis.
King, are you sure about that?
Blue, I'm positive, Mr. King.
King, it's Juris Dr. King. Anyway, it says on your Wikipedia page that in your senior year of high school football, you threw for 3,400 yards and completed 35 touchdown passes while rushing for 1,600 yards.
Blue, that's right.
King, do you think you could have played in the NFL?
Blue, I definitely do. But there was very much a stigma at the time regarding black quarterbacks. But if not for that, I think I could have played in the NFL.
King, why not at least college football?
Blue, well, I was recruited by Notre Dame, Purdue, and the University of Houston to play college football. But I decided to stick with baseball when I was drafted because they gave me money right away, and my family needed it after the death of my father.
King, very good. And, of course, you were pretty good in 1971 for the A's, 24-8 record, an AL leading 1.82 ERA and 8 shutouts, struck out 301 batters while winning both the Cy Young and the AL MVP.
Blue, that's right. I had a very good season.
King, and you helped the A's win 3 straight World Series championships from 72 through 74, all for the owner, Charlie Finley.
Blue, don't go there.
King, now you were quoted as saying in 1976, Vida, that, quote, "I hope the next breath Charlie Finley takes is his last. I hope he falls flat on his face and dies of polio."
Blue, that's right.
King, why polio?
Blue, why not?
King, so I take it you didn't like Charlie Finley?
Blue, I only made $14,000 in that 1971 season. That's about $104,000 in today's dollars, and the minimum salary in baseball today is $720,000. I definitely felt like I deserved a raise after 1971, and he was very hesitant to pay me what I was worth.
King, If it makes you feel any better, in 1971's money, I've made only $2.25 off my YouTube channel.
Blue. Last I checked, you haven't won the Cy Young and MVP.
King. That's fair, very fair. Okay, anyway, Mr. Blue, in 1971, you accompanied Bob Hope on his USO Christmas tour of Vietnam and other military installations. How was that?
Blue. It was a great experience. I was very happy to get the chance to help the morale of those serving our country in war.
King. Did you run into Charlie when you were over there?
Blue. I did not.
King. How about Colonel Kurtz?
Blue. I'm pretty sure that's a fictional character.
King. So that's a no then?
Blue. That's correct.
King. Very good. Now, did you ever pitch to Chico Escuela during your career?
Blue. Again, that's a fictional character.
King. I don't think so, okay? I saw him on SNL saying baseball had been very, very good to him.
Blue rolls his eyes.
King. Okay, very good, very good. Now, after your baseball career, you worked for numerous charitable causes, including Charities for Children?
Blue. Yes, thank you for mentioning that.
King. But you didn't try to give those kids LSD, did you? Like back when you were pitching?
Blue looks towards backstage to see how long he has to stay out there.
King. Okay, everyone, the recently departed Vida Blue, everybody. What a great sport.
Applause